Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm picking up on the energy of someone who is ready to level up in love. And I feel like you're going through this process for a while now, where you feel like you're just ready for something new and something better than you've ever experienced before. And I feel like you are about to have this love connection coming into your life. Okay, butter knife. So I feel like you're someone who can be a little bit scary at first, but you have this really soft side to you. So I feel like this could be something that could be very alluring to potential suitors, but it could also be something that could be a little bit off-putting, where I feel like maybe sometimes people are a little bit scared to approach you. Okay, mask. I feel like there's this feeling of releasing masks, and this is relating to this level up. Is that previously in your relationships, you were wearing some sort of mask, and because of that, you couldn't reach a certain depth. But I feel like you're releasing that mask and allowing for this deeper level of self expression that really allows your true self to be expressed in the world. And in this sense, someone can actually fall in love with your true self rather than just falling in love with the mask, which is like this low level of relationship where you're constantly putting on an act, pretending to be something you're not. But I feel like in this next stage of love for you, you'll be able to be your true self in your entirety and be loved for all of it. Okay, wig. And I feel like this is similar to the mask in some ways, of this feeling of putting on a disguise, but where it differs is that the wig is your intention. And I feel like you're intentionally making yourself into something beautiful that will be loved by the exact type of person that you want to love as well. Where I feel like maybe in the past, because of this masking quality, it's almost like you had to pretend to be like other people in the world. So you made yourself look like them, or you made yourself act like them in some ways. But with a wig, it's like you're choosing your own range of self-expression, and this could relate to actually your physical features of like dressing up the way that you'd like to, or just doing your makeup the way you'd like to, and all these sorts of things. But it could also relate to the sort of character that you're playing in your life, of relating to a more developed and intentional personality, where it's the personality that is really you, right? Not trying to fit into someone else's version of just how you should be, but really choosing for yourself who you want to be. All right, and I feel like there's someone coming towards you who, again, like I mentioned with this butter knife, they're a little bit scared of you, but let's find out a little bit more about what they're thinking about you right now. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like they see you as someone who is very much like abundant. Like you really have a sense of fertility, of like being in a garden, where I feel like this person sees you as someone who has this kind of perfectly cultivated life in some ways. And this might not actually be true. Like I feel like behind the scenes for yourself, you know that there's still some things you're working through, things you're working on, but I feel like this person just sees you as someone who is so calm and loving their life and just really enjoying the life that they've built for themselves. And I think that this is true as well, where I think even though you're struggling a little bit in some ways, I feel like you absolutely love your life. And I think this is something that really shines through in you, where people just want to be close to you because they want to have a life that they love as well. And I think that there's someone who understands that by being close to you, they could help cultivate that sense in themselves of just being able to love life. Okay, the Queen of Wands, another queen coming out. So I feel like this person really does see you as someone powerful and like a queen. Like I feel like someone sees you as a counterpart in some ways, where it's like they want to be your king, or maybe you could both be queens. That's okay. And I feel like there's this sense of you have a really strong independence, but I feel like you also keep your eyes turned to optimism about building a relationship with someone else. But I think it's almost like that's why you protect your peace in some ways, where it's like you wouldn't just allow anyone to be your counterpart either. And I think this is what makes you such a catch and such a queen, is that someone understands that you're looking for someone on the same level as you. And because they're also looking for someone on the same level as them, it's like I think you're both really picky and both really independent in some ways. And I think this makes you really attractive because this person knows that you're not lowering your standards or anything, and that they just want to meet your standard and meet you where you're at. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands coming out, and there's this feeling of like chasing something off, right? This figure is holding up their wand, and they're being approached by many suitors. And I feel like this is kind of how this person sees you, where it's like you have so many options, so many people coming towards you, and you're just telling them, go away, okay? You're not on my level. I'm not going to compromise for someone who's not ready to love me in the way that I want to be loved. I feel like you're someone who really understands what you want, and you're going to refuse anything that's not of that level. And this is where this butter knife quality could come in, because I feel like you have this quality to you that is like your standards are so high that this person who's approaching you thinks that they don't fit the standard. I feel like they think that you are going to chase them away like you chase away all these other suitors who are only ready for this low level of love. But I think this person who's coming towards you actually is capable of that higher level, and you'll be able to reach that high level together. But I think there is some feeling of trepidation in that because they just know that you're already ready for that high level, that it's like they have to level up themselves in order to not be chased away. Right, the Three of Swords. Okay, I feel like this is some feelings of heartbreak, and this could be in your energy or this could be in the suitor's energy, but I feel like in particular, I feel like I'm getting your energy right now of, like I mentioned, with these low level types of love, where it wasn't really a place where you could express yourself openly and honestly, and real love couldn't actually thrive. I feel like this has caused some heartbreak to you, where it's almost like you are not quite open to the concept of this actual loving relationship that you know is out there for you. I think because of the fact that you've never experienced something like this before, it's almost like you don't think it's possible. But the truth is, it is entirely possible for you, but it took you releasing the mask and putting on your wig of choice in order to actually attract someone who really understood what you were looking for in love. And I feel like you might also have some feelings of just mistrust in people, especially when it comes to giving your heart away. I feel like you're someone who doesn't give your heart away that easily, and I feel like you are someone who has maybe been burnt in the past by giving your heart away. Maybe in your last loving relationship, there was this situation where you were ready for this higher level of love, but the other person wasn't, and you gave your heart away to them because you were ready, and they just didn't step up to the plate. And this could have resulted in this really strong feeling of heartbreak, of this feeling of like, well, if I thought I was ready, but things didn't work out, so I guess I'm gonna give up, or something like that. But I feel like the truth is, you had to go through this experience in order to show yourself on a deeper level that what you really deserve is out there for you, and you're able to recognize when it's something that you don't deserve. So I feel like the situation of heartbreak was really this feeling of raising your standards even higher, where even if this was someone you really liked, you're still maintaining the standard of understanding that if it's not this high level of love, then it's not for you. So I feel like if you had experienced heartbreak in the past, it's really important to see this as a lesson about what standards and what treatment you're willing to put up with, and to not compromise on that. Because if you want this high level of love that is out there for you, you can't accept anything less. You have to only accept this high tier, this honest, true love, this real expression. The Magician. Okay, so I feel like you have everything you need in a way to get this higher level of love. I feel like there's nothing more that you need to do, no action that you need to take. It's simply remaining in the state of being yourself and being open to love and using your magical powers to seduce someone who is your ideal person, your ideal suitor, the type of person who is capable of this sort of love and the type of person who you want to love. And it's like you don't need to necessarily be going out in the world. Like, you don't need to buy anything, you don't need to buy any fancy new clothes, you don't need to change your appearance too significantly. Like I mentioned, I think you've already put on the wig, I think you already express yourself visually how you would like to, and I feel like you don't necessarily need to do anything more to like decorate yourself to make yourself look more desirable. I think you're already at your maximum level of desirability. You've already reached that. Like I mentioned, you're already ready for this level of love. And you don't necessarily need to make any progress in your career or any sort of financial progress. Maybe you had this feeling of like, I need to be more wealthy in order to attract someone who wants to be with me, because if they see that I'm not at this level of wealth, they won't want to be with me. But I think you're starting to understand that with this higher level of love, this person is able to recognize your abundance in a material sense that goes beyond just money or beyond any sort of signifier of wealth that could look like fancy clothes or anything like that. I feel like the person who is coming towards you is also a magician in some ways, where they understand that wealth exists in a way that can't necessarily be quantified. It's almost as if this wealth is an energy that you hold within you and you already have it. And it's just a matter of your 3D reality reflecting this wealth. And that's something that will come further down the line. It doesn't have to be something that you're already seeing reflected in your reality, because it'll only be reflected in your reality when you've already attained it within yourself. And I feel like you're someone who has already attained this mindset and this way of being. And so that it's not like you need any physical proof in order to prove this to yourself or to anyone else. It's like you're already there. All right. Then we have the Nine of Wands, and this is this feeling of being very guarded. This is almost like this development after the Seven of Wands that we have here, of like after the battle, of being a little bit wounded, of being a little bit guarded. And I feel like this card is really advising you that if you want this level up in love, you can't be too guarded. You can't let your wounds build a wall around you, because this protects your true nature. Or not even protects it, but it just hides, it obscures it. It stops potential suitors being able to access this true nature that lies within you. And I feel like there's this sense of when you become guarded, that's when you chase away this true love. But when you allow yourself to be open to it, it just flows towards you. But I feel like there is someone really specific who has their eye on you. So let's see who this person is. Mouse. Oh, we always draw this card in the love readings. I feel like there's someone who is very timid, and I feel like there's someone who, there almost feels like dwarfed by you in a sense, where, like I mentioned, because you have been ready for this high level of love for a long time, and possibly even in your previous relationship, the sense I'm getting is that this person really sees this about you. They know that you are the ultimate catch, and it almost makes them feel a little bit insecure in some ways, like the fact that they might not feel like they're good enough for you, or that they're scared of approaching you, or there's this feeling of like this trap with the cheese here. This person sees you as the cheddar, the thing that the mouse wants the most. I mean, you shouldn't actually feed mice cheese, but in the symbolic sense of the mouse and the cheddar, where you're the thing that they want most, but they think it's a trap. They think it's too good to be true, like they're going to be hurt if they approach you. And I think it's because this person is just in their mousy energy. They're afraid to go out and get exactly what they want right now. But I feel like as they step more into this magician energy that I think you've been in for a long time and this person is just entering into now, they're understanding that they can have whatever they want in the world. And if you're the thing that they want most, they can have you, as long as they're ready for this higher level of love. And I feel like this person is having some thoughts about you right now. Let's see what they're thinking. Ooh, okay, the Ten of Swords. Okay, I feel like this person is just absolutely torn up in some ways, like really wounded. I feel like because this person has maybe accepted that they'll never be able to have you, that they're just broken up about it. They're just so sad. But I think what they don't understand is that they could actually have this loving relationship with you if they stepped up to the plate in that manner. So I feel like this person is really just kind of feeling sad about the whole situation, of just feeling like they're not good enough for you. And I feel like this is really causing them a lot of wounds and a lot of heartbreak in a way. Let's see how this person could get out of this energy and step up to the plate in some ways. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a sense of being generous, and this is coming from you. And I feel like this could be this feeling of being generous with your energy, of being a little bit more inviting. And I feel like if you have a suitor in mind, there is this feeling of being generous towards them, and not so much in doing anything in the world for them. Like, it doesn't necessarily even have to be like a time commitment, like you're seeing them too often or going out of your way to help them or do something for them. It's more like you're being generous in your energy, right? And like I mentioned with the Magician card coming out, it's like this energy of abundance and of wealth is something that already exists inside of you. And similarly, this energy of love is something that you possess within yourself. And it's something that you could give away quite freely and not be stingy with. So I think if you do have a suitor in mind, what you need to do is not be withholding when it comes to this loving energy that you're sending their way. It's this feeling of generosity in accepting the fact that if you want to draw them in closer to you, it's to see them in this light of not seeing them as a mouse or seeing them as someone who needs to win your affection. But if you really do believe that this is someone who is your equal and who is ready to step up to the plate, you need to give them that space, that trust to step up. Otherwise, there is no place for them to step up to, right? You need to give them the throne, and create that space inside of yourself for this throne to be occupied, right? So as long as you are in this heartbroken, guarded energy yourself of no one will ever really love me for who I am, or this feeling of like I'll always have to compromise, or I've had my heart broken, it's only going to happen again. As long as you're in that mentality, there is no place for someone else to step up and attain this higher level of love with you. There is no place in your heart that's open for them. So it's a sense of remaining generous with opening your heart to the suitor and allowing them to know that there is a place in your heart. And it doesn't have to be anything verbal or communicated or anything you have to put out in the world, but it is the sense of this energetic quality within yourself that when you allow this to flourish, they will get the message. Like, they will understand even if you haven't communicated anything to them directly. Right, the Ace of Wands. Okay, so I feel like there is someone who is, I will say it. There is someone who is stroking their wand over you. this was what the cards are saying, okay? And I feel like this is a sense of like a little bit of magic that is happening here, right? Where I think with the magician here, he's holding a candle, right? And this could relate to these feelings of ritual, of seduction that you might have been enacting as well, in which some of your behavior has this seductive quality that is quite magical. And in relation to love, it's like this almost like a mating dance is what I'm getting. And it could have been like you were actually dancing in some ways, or just like your body movements really drew this person in like a mating dance. And I feel like it's caused this person to have this really strong erotic response to seeing you or being in your energy. And then that expression of love that they have for you that is done through this erotic manner is something that is essentially a token of affection that then builds this love connection stronger, right? And this is a place without shame, okay? So there's no sense in feeling like sexual desire is anything gross or evil. I know that a lot of women sometimes struggle with this, of this strange castrating nature where if a man is sexually attracted to them, they almost feel disgusted by it, and this is because of their own sexual repression. And you don't need to feel disgusted by that. If someone is sexually attracted to you and they are someone who's willing to step up to the throne, like that's even better. Don't you want someone who is just so wildly attracted to you that they can't contain their desire for you and they must physically express it in some way? Like that is exactly what this higher level of love is reaching towards. Is someone who truly desires you after seeing you for who you are, and it only causes their desire and their passion to grow even stronger. It's not something where it's like you have to actively put on a mask in order to please them. It's just like being yourself is so irresistible. All right, let's see what else this person is thinking about you right now. Ooh, the King of Cups. Okay, I think they see you as someone who is the complete master of your emotions and of emotional expression as well. Like, I feel like you're someone who is able to express things just completely honestly, openly, and without any sort of censorship. It's like you also just know exactly what you're feeling. Sometimes people who are not so much the masters of their emotions might not even be able to understand on a cognitive level or even verbalize what they're feeling. And it leaves them in the sense of just being really confused and just being in pain because they're going through something that they don't know how to express. But I feel like this person sees you as someone who knows exactly how to express these things that you're going through. And this is completely essential in this process of finding this leveled up love, is that there is no feeling of things that you can't express between one another. It is that you're able to express things completely honestly and openly. And I think this is what makes you such a catch and so desirable, is the fact that this person knows that you will always be honest with them about what you're feeling, and the fact that they could always be honest with you without judgment. And I feel like this is something that is just so inviting and warm, and really just has this true loving energy of just being accepted for who you both are, and that is where this true level of love can flourish. All right, the Chariot. Okay, I feel like there's a sense of moving on, moving forward. Like I mentioned, I think you dealt with some heartbreak in the past, but I think you're understanding that this was a lesson that was meant to be learned, and you don't necessarily need to be stuck on any situation or person, but that if this higher level of love is out there for you, it will be drawn towards you. And whether this is even with a person from your past, I think you're moving on from that past version of who you were. And I feel like you're moving on to just a new way of being. So that if this person from your past is the person on your mind right now, they would have to level up and move on and move forward into a new way of being in order to be at your level. So I do feel like, though, there is a sense of not dwelling in the past, because it is very important that in order to get this higher level of love, you need to be someone who has released all these previous ties, released any sort of binds that you may have had, or any sort of heartbreak of clinging on to previous situations. It is this feeling of just existing presently in the moment and just accepting what energies may flow towards you and, assess them as they come instead of really desiring any specific energy from any specific person. This higher level of love is something that you haven't been able to comprehend previously because it's something that you haven't quite experienced. And so you need to be open to the sense of newness, of not having any expectation of how this love is going to show up in your life, but just being present in the moment and just being able to seize that moment when it comes. Right, the Fool. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is this feeling of just being present in the moment, of not clinging on to anything that you've been told, taught, or things that have happened to you in the past. It is this feeling of just taking a leap of faith with this true innocence. And with the magician as well, like I mentioned, is this feeling of you have everything you need to begin this journey of leveling up in love. You don't need to go out and do anything. All you need to do is continue doing the work that you've been doing and exist as your true self. And the Fool here, what is in the Fool's bag, right? It's the tools of the magician. That is all the Fool needs in order to take this leap of faith. So I feel like if you are encountering the suitor, and maybe there's some feelings of trepidation of, I'm not ready yet, or it needs more time or something like that. This understanding that, yes, it's true that relationships take time to develop, but when you're ready to take that leap of faith, you can just leap into it. There doesn't need to be any of these feelings of needing to gather more information or anything like that. Like, of course, it is good to have the best assessment of the situation and to really know that this person is this higher level of suitor, this person who is capable of this higher level of love. But it's not like you need to drag things out necessarily, because this is when this mistrust starts to brew. This feeling of like, this person isn't good enough for me. This person is a mouse. I need to chase this person away, right? And then that's when you lose this possibility for a loving connection. And it's really just about existing in this state of seeing this infinite opportunity in every moment, in every connection. There is this opportunity that could be tapped, but could also remain untapped, and it's really your choice. But I'm really getting the sense that this innocent and trusting nature is something that will allow this next level of love to brew and be possible in you. And that as long as you are mistrusting or being closed off, it simply won't be able to flourish. Okay, and I dropped a card, so I have to pick it up. If you drop a card, it's important. And this one, the card of the divine union between masculine and feminine, the Two of Cups here. So there is this feeling of coming together, and as you can see, the masculine figure is reaching out and touching the feminine figure. And this really doesn't have anything to do with gender, like I mentioned. But if you are relating to anything that I've been saying in this reading, I'm quite certain that you are in a feminine energy. Whatever your gender expression is, it's not necessarily that someone would look at you and say this is a feminine person, but when it comes to this love connection, the role that you are playing, like I mentioned with a sense of ritual, is that you are symbolically playing the role of the feminine in the situation, right? And this is why you don't necessarily have to do anything, go out and chase things. All you have to do is exist in this natural, seductive, feminine quality that you're already embodying. And as you can see in this card, the masculine is reaching out and touching the feminine. So if you're waiting for this love connection to occur, this is exactly how it will happen, is that this person who is not quite at this level of development that you have already reached is coming towards you, but it's just a matter of being able to receive them honestly and openly in this trusting and open sense. And that is where the true love will flourish. But it really is about not needing to chase anyone, not needing to change anyone, simply observing and existing in your true nature and allowing this love to come towards you. All right, let's draw one more card about what this person is thinking about you right now. Ooh, the High Priestess. Okay, I think they see you as someone very magical, very mystical, and it's like you have many secrets and wisdom about the world that are contained within you, and I feel like they see you as someone who is almost an authority on some of these spiritual qualities, and especially when it comes to this higher level of love, this divine union, this spiritual sort of love. I feel like this person knows that you understand exactly what this is, and it's like they want to learn from you in a way. They almost want to consult you as an authority so that maybe you can kind of teach them a little bit on how they can continue walking their path to be capable of this sort of love. And I feel like this person just sees you as someone really mystical, someone very powerful, someone who just holds a lot of secrets and holds a lot of esoteric knowledge within you. And I feel like this is someone who really respects this about you, and they hold it with extreme reverence. Like in the past, where you might have had this quality of having to wear a mask, maybe there were people in your love relationships who didn't respect or appreciate that side of you, where they didn't really understand the power that these sorts of really true loving relationships can hold, or appreciate the power that having the knowledge of this divine balance between masculine and feminine can grant a person. But I also feel that this is where this kind of butter knife intimidating quality also can come back in, where this person sees you as like intimidatingly knowledgeable, where it's almost like they understand that you know more than they do. And this is simply a truth, like I mentioned with this ritual aspect of masculine and feminine, that if this is this type of true love connection where this masculine and feminine are being held in balance, it is this truth that the feminine has already acquired some knowledge on their journey that is just of this higher spiritual quality. And it is the truth that the masculine will only discover this knowledge perhaps later in the journey or through the process of this love connection being consummated. So there is this feeling of this person is just a little bit scared, or there's this feeling of trepidation in beginning this journey, but I feel like they are learning to embody this foolish nature of taking the leap of faith and jumping towards you, as that is the only way for them to end the suffering that they're feeling over their unbearably irresistible attraction towards you that is causing them to have some very strong physical reactions as well. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I am announcing a special promotion where all my personalized readings will be $25 Canadian until the end of February. So if you'd like to snag one of those, please email me with the link that is in this video description. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.